Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Coach Walk TV. So, today's episode, I'm going to touch on a few topics real quick. I'm going to quickly review and give my assessment on the Steelers versus the Titan game that happened on Thursday night. I'm a Steelers fan, so I'm probably always going to talk about the Steelers and what I think about them. And then touch on real quick the NBA in-season tournament, kind of give my thoughts on that. Hopefully, I get some feedback from y'all on what y'all think about that in-season tournament. And then just last but not least, talk about a little NFL action that's coming up on Sunday. I think we got a good slate of games for week 9 in the NFL. So let's jump right to it. So to give a little quick recap, the Steelers versus Titan game on Thursday night, it was a good game. It was the kind of game I expected to see. The Steelers are still trying to get their identity found on offense. I think they made a little intricate move on the football side that a lot of people might not think could be a big deal, but it could be a big deal, and that's bringing the offensive coordinator Matt Canada down to the sidelines to call plays and maybe get a little better player-coach interaction on the sideline. I'm not sure if that necessarily helped the situation win the game, but at the same time, maybe the communication was better. I can't say Canada is going to see the game better from the sideline. Me personally, as a coach, if I'm an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, I like to see the game from up top. I can see where people are aligned and kind of see the schemes better from up there. But I don't know. Maybe it helped. Kenny Pickett he's turned out to be like a clutch player. He missed some throws. I don't know if it was due to injury or he's not seeing the field like he should, but he did miss a couple wide open receivers, so he has to continue to work on that. I like Warren coming out the backfield better than Najee Harris right now. I thought Najee was going to be a better player, but Warren's turning out to be like the better of the two running backs, even though I'm not taking nothing away from Najee. He can still do his thing, but Warren seems to be a little bit more explosive. George Pickens is going to always do his thing. Deontay Johnson stepped up. So, we're starting to find a little identity. Of course, this year's Pittsburgh Steelers team, the defense is looking strong. But, it's only week 9 and we have a long way to go. So, hopefully we can continue to trend up. Scoring 20 points in the NFL is not going to win a lot of football games, especially when it's time to play January football in the playoffs and try to get to February. But, we'll continue to see how they develop. Like I said, I'm a Steelers fan through and through. So even when it's hard times in Pittsburgh, we stick in there. But that Titans game was a good win, 5-3. A lot of people try to talk down on Tomlin, and he's not a good coach. But I like Mike Tomlin. But despite how our offense hasn't been able to generate a lot of points per game, we're sitting at 5-3. This is the NFL. And when you're 5-3 halfway through the season, or about halfway through the season, that's a good spot to be in. And we're undefeated in the division right now. So let's move on and let's get ready to talk about the NBA a little bit in this in-season tournament and see what people think about that. This in-season tournament is new this year. 2023-24 season, the NBA decided to have a in-season tournament. I guess here's my thing. I'm gonna just get right to my opinion here. I think it's kind of gimmicky. Maybe they're trying to keep the players engaged a little bit. I do like the incentive of $500,000 to the winning team per player. But I still, these are NBA players. They play 80 games in a season. I feel like the in-season tournament is only going to get good when it's time to play for the money. The guys are going to play hard probably just to try to get to the money, but it'll ramp up a little bit. It's like the same kind of gimmicky things they've done with the All-Star game to kind of keep the attention of the public and keep their viewership interested in NBA basketball. I would be in favor of shortening the season, to be honest. Basketball is a good sport. I enjoy basketball. I played basketball as well, but it's almost like baseball I talked about in my last episode. The season can be a bit long. These guys are going to get tired. They want to kind of relax. They're going to take some games off. Why wouldn't you? Especially if you get out to a good start. If you play hard in the beginning of the season and you have a good record, you get about halfway through the season, you can probably lay off a little bit and then play hard at the end, and then when the playoffs hit. So I see what the NBA could be doing with this in-season tournament, and we'll see how it turns out this year. I'm gonna tune in. I'm not watching all the games. I'm not trying to keep up with it either. I can't keep up with this round robin, who's playing who got knocked out, who's in this play-in game type stuff. I will say this, speaking of play-in games, the play-in format that they have for the NBA playoffs, I do like that a little bit. That's interesting. That little change they made, it kind of keeps my attention a little bit, and I think that the fans kind of like that. But this in-season tournament, this is new. We'll see how it goes. I feel like that, like myself, other viewers and other fans of the NBA are going to want to watch it when it gets into the actual tournament mode, when they get to Las Vegas and they're playing for the money down to the final 4 teams or the final 8 teams, however they're going to do it. I still have to do a little bit more research on how that final setup is going to look like in Las Vegas, but I think that's when most people are going to pay attention. But I am interested enough to see how this plays out and if it's going to be a thing going forward. Maybe they revamp it, maybe they shorten it, or maybe they make it like an NCAA type thing in the middle of the season. But it feels a little gimmicky right now to me overall. But hey, we'll see how it plays out come the end of December. No, I'm sorry. The first part of December, I think it said December 9th is when they're playing for the championship for the in-season tournament, and see how it turns out. So let's see how it goes, and maybe I'll come back and touch up on that again later after we see some results about a month from now. So we'll see how that looks. So last but not least, like I said, I'm gonna jump into some NFL action here and kind of get some picks for week 9, because we got some good action coming up in week 9. So it's week 9 in the NFL. We're about halfway through the season, and it's some good games on the slate this week, and this is about that time. You get about halfway through the season, you start to see, you kind of know what teams are what, and I am a big believer in you are what your record says you are. So let's talk about a few of these games that are going to be happening in week 9, starting with the Chiefs and the Dolphins. That is going to be an interesting game. Of course, the headline, everybody's talking about Tyreek Hill, going against the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill, doesn't matter, like he said, it doesn't matter who he's going against. He wants to give everybody that work. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. The only thing is that matchup is in Germany. NFL, please. I get what you're doing. You're trying to make it a world game, and it's about the money. We know this. We know this is about the money, but having these games in other parts of the world, it kind of takes away from the real NFL feel. I mean, imagine if this game was in Miami, or if this game was in Kansas City. The fans that are there, and I got plenty of fans that's going to travel over, but I will say for the German people, they're going to get a good game. It's going to be a 9:30 game here on the East Coast, so we're waking up to football. That's never a bad thing, but we're waking up to a good game too. So it's not just waking up to football, and we get to see an actual good game. So it's tough to pick this one, man. It's because it's always hard to go against Patrick Mahomes, but that Dolphins offense is on fire, and they are hard to stop. But I'm not going to pick against Patrick Mahomes, so I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs here. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. Let's say I'm gonna go with the Chiefs 31-24 Chiefs in that one in Germany. It may not be that high scoring considering that they're on the other side of the world somewhere, playing in totally different time zones. But 31-24 Chiefs. That'll be my pick for that game. Next up at the 1 o'clock spot, you got 2 good teams going against each other again with the Seahawks. And let me look at my it's the Seahawks and the Ravens. That's going to be a good game. The Seahawks for the past couple of seasons have been back on the come up. The Ravens play well. I've seen more of the Ravens than I have the Seahawks this year, considering that the Ravens are in the AFC North with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But that's going to be a good game too. 1 o'clock, and that game is in Baltimore. So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that I feel like Baltimore's going to win that game. 1 o'clock game, East Coast. Seattle's here on the East Coast. They're going to be in Baltimore at 1 o'clock. That's 10 o'clock their time on the West Coast. Got to fly across the country. I think that's going to be a factor a little bit, and I like what the Ravens are doing with Lamar Jackson and what they got going on there. So I'm going to get the Ravens in that one. I'll take the Ravens in that one. I'll take the Ravens 24-17. 24-17 Ravens in that one. All right, so now game three, the game of the day, America's game at 4:25. I think the game is at 4:25. Let me check my. Yep, the 4:25 game on week 9 and week 9 on Sunday. The Cowboys and the Eagles. The picture I have up right now. That is going to be the game of the week, but I'll make it very simple because I can talk about the Cowboys and Steelers all day. The Cowboys are pretenders. I will tell everybody that the Cowboys are pretenders. The Eagles are for real. That game is in Philly at 4:25. I'm going to give Philly the win. Will it be close? I think it'll be tight. I think the Cowboys are going to come to play, but I don't believe in Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott tends to get in these kind of games when the pressure's turned up, and he'll start throwing picks. He'll start making bad reads. He'll start doing what Dak Prescott does when he gets under pressure. And he has to prove me wrong. Until he proves me wrong, I'm going to always believe that Jalen Hurts is a guy. The Eagles have found their man at receiver number 11. You're looking at him right now. He is a player. The Eagles are an all-around good football team. The defense is solid. Offense is hard to stop. I have the Eagles 35 to let's say 35-27. 35-27 Eagles in this one. And then last but not least, let me get my I'm looking at my notes here, y'all, so y'all excuse me while I'm looking at my notes. But that Bills and Bengals game, the Sunday night game, 8:20 on Sunday night. Listen, it's gonna be a good day of football. Week 9 all day. All right, Bills and Bengals. That's gonna be good. That game is in Cincinnati, and the Bengals they started out a little slow. You know, we know Joe Burrow was hurt. Josh Allen is a guy, and the Buffalo Bills have been playing well the past couple of seasons. I think this is going to be another potential playoff matchup as well, to figure out who's going to advance in the playoffs when the playoffs get here. But I'm going to have to take the Bengals in this one because they're the home team. I'm going to give them the 3 points that we usually give the home team. So I think it'll be a close game. It may be rather high scoring, but I'm going to go 21-24. I'm going to go 24-21 Bengals. 24-21 Bengals in that one. So looking forward to some good football on Sunday. But once again, I appreciate y'all checking this episode out. I'll be back with the next episode soon. If you like my content, please subscribe, share, comment. Let's talk about some of these topics, man. That's the whole point, just to get up here and just talk about different sports topics and things that are going on in the sports news. All right, so y'all be good, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.